AITA for yelling at my dad 51M and calling him a monster for what he gave my sister 30F as a Christmas gift. My 28F sister Amanda 30F never met her bio mom. My dad 51M raised her alone until she was barely 1. My dad and my mom got married in 1992. Amanda knew that my mom wasn't her bio mother. She started pressuring my dad for information on her mom when she was around 17. My dad always gave her vague answers and refused to talk about her bio mom, which put a strain on their relationship. Enters our uncle, 49M, and revealed the family secret. Apparently, Amy's mom wanted an abortion. She was 19, but my dad and his parents were able to bribe her. They offered her money if she followed up with the pregnancy, and she accepted. My grandparents sold one of their houses and gave her half of that money to Amy's mom when the pregnancy was viable, and the other half she received when she waived her parental rights over Amy to let my mom adopt her when she was 4. My uncle wasn't supposed to tell her that. My grandparents were furious. Amy stopped her crusade to meet her bio mom and her relationship with my dad went back to normal. Amy never mentioned her bio mom again. Dad got her into therapy after that. A month ago, Amy found out that she was pregnant. The pregnancy was an accident. She switched birth controls. The problem being, Amy is about to start her surgical residency and her hours are insane. It is basically impossible to raise a baby while working in that rhythm, so she wanted an abortion. The problem is that Mark 35M, her fiance, 6 years together, wanted her to keep the baby. It caused a big fight. In a dick move to convince Amy to keep the baby, Mark told Dad about this. Until that point no one in our family knew about this. Dad talked with her and they got into an enormous fight. Amy got the abortion 10 days ago. Mark ended up breaking up with her. She is obviously really sad. My dad was acting like a jerk. He was pretending that Amy didn't exist. He didn't want to talk or see her. So on Christmas Day, we were exchanging gifts. When everyone had already finished giving each other gifts, Dad got up and gave Amy her present. He gave her an envelope in front of everyone and told her to open it. It was 3 pictures with something written on the back, a name, an address, and a phone number. Dad told her that he was tired of babying her, that this is a photo of her bio mom and her 2 sons, that was her bio mom address, and that he contacted her bio mom and she is willing to speak with Amy. He gave her Amy's number. Dad thinks that they will have a great relationship since they are so similar. Amy broke down crying. I ended up in a fight with Dad. Called him a monster for doing that to her. He just said he was just tired and left. We ended up leaving and she spent the rest of Christmas crying on my shoulder. She is a mess since that. My younger brothers called me a Grinch for making a scene and ruining Christmas. My mom was silent during the whole thing. My parents have been giving me the cold shoulder since Christmas. AITA here. Edit. Amy is short for Amanda. I'm so mad on you and Amy's behalf. My younger brothers called me a Grinch for making a scene and ruining Christmas. You didn't. Your dad made a scene and ruined Christmas! Exclamation mark. NTA in the slightest, WTF. NTA. It sounds like you and your sister are the only ones not acting like assholes here. Here's why every single other person involved is an asshole. 1. Her ex-fiancé is an asshole for trying to use her father to control her. 2. Y'all's dad is an asshole for berating her about something that was none of his business and then using Christmas as an opportunity to further lash out at her. 3. Your mother is an asshole for standing by and not saying jack shit while he did it. 4. Finally, every younger brother who thinks you're the issue here is an asshole because you're clearly not the one that made a scene. That would be your father. NTA. You made an excellent point of the situation. In point 2, I would add that he deliberately waited for Christmas Day to criticize her in front of everyone. So if I'm reading this correctly, your dad gave Amy the info not because of her curiosity about her mom, but to twist the knife of her getting an abortion by basically saying she's as heartless as her own mother. So, that's pretty low. Your dad and his whole family seem to have an unhealthy fixation on women producing babies, or maybe against abortion. Why was it so important to them that Amy's mom go through with the pregnancy? Why not just wait until your dad was married? Anyway, your dad is a controlling, heartless creep. Mom also sucks for staying silent, and brothers for laughing. You and Amy of course course our NTA. I hope she's able to heal from this and maybe get something positive out of connecting with her. Bye oh mom. I hope your dad stubs his toe every time he enters or leaves a room for the rest of his life. NTA, damn, what your dad did is messed up. I get that abortion might be a sore topic for some people, but come on, that was just a plain and simple dick move to do. He deliberately preyed Amy's fears and insecurities and is subjecting her to mental abuse. I don't know why he acted like this. I swear normally he is very calm and easygoing. I mean this without any jealousy, but Amy always was my dad's favorite as well. She was always a daddy's girl. I was too. But she was way more, and she was basically his shadow growing up. They were really close. My mom also always favorited her a bit more. I really don't know why they are doing this. I'm actually really confused. AITA for refusing to pay bills for a house I house-sitted a month ago. I don't really think I'm the asshole in this situation, but the family member, her boyfriend and her mum sure do. Although the fact that the family member recently lost her job due to the pandemic does make me feel like I'm being an A little less than a month ago, I decided to house-sit for a family member and her boyfriend for a week while they were going to see their parents. I knew I wasn't getting paid for taking care of the home/feeding their pets, but was okay with it because I live with my parents and a week away sounded like a dream come true. House sitting went fine and I'd pretty much forgotten about it until today. The family member sent me a PayPal request with no explanation. She requested $184 and I immediately called her and asked why she was doing this. She stated that it was my share of the bills for when I stayed. I was in shock. I told her I took a week off of work to care for her house free of charge. She said that I still had to pay utilities. Keep in mind, I was never once made aware of this, otherwise I would have told them to get lost when they asked me in the first place. Told her to go fuck herself and hung up. Ever since she's been messaging me saying she's gonna call the police and tell everyone on Facebook about what a horrible piece of shit I am. I haven't responded to any of these messages and don't plan to. Am I the asshole? Update: she ended up posting about me on Facebook and the overwhelming majority of people on there defended me, some of them calling her stupid and laugh reacting. Safe to say she deleted the post and blocked me after that, and I haven't heard anything since. According to my cousin, she's posting quotes about being betrayed and how family ain't shit. What a weird situation. I've never heard of someone house-sitting who had to pay for any house-related bills. NTA, because the house-sitter is doing the owner a favor. I don't know what minimum wage is, but send her a bill for $5 an hour. 5 by 24 hours x 7 days equals 840. Assume 1 pet. 5 per feeding days. 5 by 7 equals 35. You'll pay her $184 when she pays you $875. Offer her a discount and charge her $2 per hour. Still works out $350. NTA, you were doing them a favor. If they had put the pet into boarding or elsewhere, they would have a much higher bill. Week at market rate is between $350 and $700 anyway, since full service house and pet sitters charge $50 to $100 a day. NTA, that's no different than someone asking you to babysit their kids for a week while they take vacation, then tell you to pay for bills during the time you were in the house. What will they tell the police? Make sure to save any text messages sent to you, they sound insane. 1. It's a civil matter. Cops won't get involved on relatives' side if she calls. However, see below. 2. There was no discussion of payment of utilities prior to staying at the house, therefore it was not an agreed upon condition and was never a part of the verbal/written, text/email, agreement. If this moron tries to sue, judge will laugh moron out of the courtroom. Don't ever do anything for this relative again. Save any /all correspondence between the two of you. This relative is trying to extort money from you. Google extortion. If you don't pay me $X, I'll do Y. That is a crime. That is something you call the police for. Do not respond to relative. Feel free to call non-emergency number for police and ask for advice, or call a lawyer. I would not engage her on social media. If she posts anything about this on social media, Google the term libel. NTA, find a local kennel and get some rates for what they would have charged her to take care of her pets, then look up the fees for how much it would have cost to have someone paid to stay in her house to do the same. Present her with an invoice for both and ask her which one she wants to pay. AITA for serving my husband's parents pizza on Christmas dinner when they showed up unexpectedly. I F33 am a nurse and I've been crazy busy lately. So busy that I'd spend 2 consecutive days at the hospital. I covered shifts during weekends/holidays for this year. We're not doing well financially and I've only been working for a few months and we have debts to pay for on time. I'm exhausted all the time. I don't get to sleep much. My husband's parents are AWARE of my work nature but still acted upset I didn't go shop for their gifts earlier. They did receive gifts from me and I made sure everyone was happy. My husband told me his mom wanted to bring the family and celebrate Christmas at our house. I politely declined and explained that I can't be serving 10+ people when I'm committed to a very demanding, very strict schedule. My mother-in-law still pissed at me for this and told the family that I was using my job as an excuse since I obviously can't even cook a decent meal let alone host a celebration. I really thought that they let another family member host Christmas dinner. Christmas Day at 2 p.m. I got off work and went home feeling exhausted and could barely take a shower. My husband didn't leave the house and when I asked him about whether his family invited him for dinner he said no because I ruined it when I refused to let them come. I knew he was starting an argument. I just left it at that. At 6 p.m. the door rang and I saw his mom and dad walking in. I greeted them and brought them coffee and biscuits. They said they came to give us our gifts on behalf of the family and they stayed for over 2 hours. His mom started giving me looks and asking when she and her husband were going to eat dinner. I got up and decided to reheat the pizza we had from the night before and when his mom saw it she stared at me and asked if I was serious. She asked me where is Christmas dinner and was stunned that I didn't cook for the occasion. I told her I didn't cook because I wasn't expecting anyone to be invited to the house. She got upset and said that I should have cooked for the occasion regardless of whether we had guests or not because she said it's part of the celebration and talked about how every home had a Christmas feast. She said I had no etiquette and that I was clearly starving her son by not cooking even on holidays. I got into an argument with her while my husband and his dad sat there watching. She called me disrespectful and to stop using my job as an excuse for my lack of function as a wife. Then they left. My husband said I should have taken a few days off and hosted dinner, completely ignoring that his mom made a big deal out of it. She's all over the SM talking about me serving her pizza instead of a real Christmas dinner. /My husband works in construction. Work has been slow lately. He spends more time at home than me. He does cook meals whenever I'm working, so I'm not sure why his mom thinks he's being treated unfairly. He's an adult and can cook his own meals. Her problem is with me not preparing her a full Christmas dinner and thinks this stuff more important than work. /fixed the word etiquette because that's how she said it. I laughed inside TBH. Are your husband's hands broken? Why didn't he cook? He's being negative, complaining instead of doing things on his own. He knows how hard I work but still sided with his mom. Probably feels bad since she's disappointed.